In example 4, you're going to be given the conditions of an argument, and you're asked to provide the statement that would make the overall argument valid. So in this question here, David will get a kitten or a puppy for his birthday. David does not get a kitten, therefore choose all that apply. So what you're asked to do here is pick the statement that would be a valid conclusion, which basically means that it's going to be true as long as the conditions that David will get a kitten or a puppy for his birthday and that David does not get a kitten. If those both are true at the same time, then we want to pick a statement that will be true every time that those can be true. So to break this down a little bit, I'm going to translate. David will get a kitten or a puppy for his birthday. So I'm going to let K stand for him getting a kitten or a puppy. Uh, David does not get a kitten. Therefore, I'm going to let not K stand for that. So I set my truth to, I mean, and, those are the two simple statements I have, getting a kitten, getting a puppy. So I just pick every possible combination of K and P being true and false with each other and start my truth table. And I'm going to put these two on. So for K or P, for them to be true, as long as one of them's true, the whole statement's true. So the only instance I'm going to have it being false is when both of them are false. And not K is just me taking this column over here and just, doing the opposite truth value. So whatever was true is false and vice versa. So, as you can see here, we're looking to see, okay, which of these statements will be valid under the conditions that they're giving us. As you can see, these two statements are only true in one instance. So, as a result, and they're only true when K is false and P is true. So, when I look to do the therefore part, I want to see what these statements actually are and see which ones will work. So, David gets a puppy for his birthday. So that statement would be signaled with P, and as you can see here, under P, I just simply made this orange to go along with that. When these two are true, this was true. So that is a valid statement. The next one, David does not get a kitten or a puppy for his birthday. So getting a kitten or a puppy is not happening. So that would translate into this, not K or P. And so if I look at K or P, which is this column right here, and I do not that, it's going to be a false statement. So when these two are true, this is false. That's not a valid argument. That would be invalid. So the next one, David does not get a kitten, and he does get a puppy for his birthday. So it's not a kitten and puppy. So not K and P. And so when I look at these, not K and P, not K is true, P is true. That makes that a true statement. Therefore, that is a valid argument. It's probably kind of something that you wouldn't do like in like the real world as far as like speaking English goes, because if you're already told that you don't get a kitten, then you say, well, then he didn't get a kitten and he got a puppy. Well, you could just say he got a puppy. You don't have to restate something that was already, a given piece of information necessarily. But it doesn't make it false either. Logically speaking, it's the same. Grammatically, you may not want to say it that way. But David does not get a puppy for his birthday, so that last one is not P. So if I look at the column, for P, for this instance here, that's going to be a false statement, and therefore that's not a valid statement. So the two valid statements are that David gets a puppy for his birthday, and David does not get a kitten, and he does not get a puppy, or he does not get a kitten, and he does get a puppy for his birthday. And truth tables are needed because don't automatically think that if you meet the two conditions, that if P works, then not P is not going to work. That's not necessarily the case either. So be careful with assumptions like that. Work the truth table through. Let's move on to the next one. So the next one, if the Pirates have a winning record at the end of June, then they will have a winning season. If the Pirates have a winning season, then they will make the playoffs. Therefore, the Pirates will have a winning record at the end of June, or they will make the playoffs. The Pirates will not have a winning record at the end of June, or they will make the playoffs. the Pirates will have a winning season or they will not make the playoffs. If the Pirates do not have a winning record at the end of June, then they will not make the playoffs. So you have some slight deviations to some of these statements here. Which of these are, a logical conclusion? There could be more than one logical conclusion from given information, but of the four listed here, which one is it? And this was a one choice only, so this one there was only one possible answer. So I translated the first statement R, if R then S. So R for winning record, S winning season. The next one, if the Pirates have a winning season, so it's still the same thing. Winning season was S, so if S, then making the playoffs, I titled P. And we're going to be looking for a therefore statement. So R, S, and P are the three simple statements that we're using here. So I got to figure out all the combinations of truth and falseness that they could have with each other. And so I set up my truth table by, listing those. And then I start going through these various conditions. So if R, then S. I'm not going to go through all the logistics of how to go about doing this truth table now. You should have enough idea how to go through and do it. It's very similar to a lot of other truth tables we did for conditionals. Same thing with this one. So I'm looking for instances, because when I do the therefore part, I'm only looking for the instances where, these two conditions, these two statements, if R then S and if S then P, are true. And there they are. So there's only 4 instances. And as I do this, because I am testing 4 different statements that are going to come after this, I can save a little bit of time by not having to redo or do all the truth tables for them. I'm just going to focus my attention on the situations in these 4 rows. So the first one, the Pirates will have a winning record at the end of June, or they will make the playoffs, is translated as R or P. And I want to see if this is true. So, R or P, I'm looking at these 2 columns, R and P. It's true as long as one of them is true. So as you look down here, true and true, that's good. False and true, that's good, that's true. False and true, that's true. False and false. So that one false makes this a statement that is invalid. So this is not a valid conclusion. When I look at the next one, the Pirates will have a winning record at the end of June, or they will make the playoffs. Or the Pirates will not have a winning record at the end of June, so that's not R or P. And if I look at those, now I need the not R column, so I put that in there. So now I'm looking at this column and this column. Now, if one it's true as long as one of them is true, so false and true is true, true and true is true, true and true is true, true and false is true. So I do get all of these 4 rows to come out to be true, which stands to reason that this would be my answer. But just to double check to see what goes on in the other cases, the Pirates will have a winning season or they will not make the playoffs. The Pirates do not have a winning record at the end of June, then they will not make the playoffs. That becomes S or not P, so I did put the not P column down here. If not R, then not P, so I put that column in here. And as you see here, I came up with the truth values based on them. And in each one of these instances, in this green column, I have 1 false, and this one I have 2 falses. So these statements are not valid conclusions either. The only valid conclusion we have is from this list is that the Pirates will not have a winning record at the end of June, or they will make the playoffs. And that's the statement that's valid amongst these 4. And that is the end of this video. If you have any further questions, please make sure to reach out and ask me about it. Until next time, have a good day.